it's Chantel with Wildberry Quilting, and this is week 6 of our spooky Halloween Memories quilt along. Now, if you haven't joined in with us yet, we tell a spooky story and we work on the Moonlight quilt, which is absolutely gorgeous. And if you'd like to pick up the supplies, all of that is linked in the description box down below over to Fat Quarter Shop. And you can always send me your spooky stories if you'd like to hear me tell them here on the channel. So without further ado, let's hop right in. All right, we've got our O and our K pieces here. And I did go through and mark a line going along my O pieces. And normally I would only use this line, but these are far too long and they will drape over the side and I won't actually be able to see that line. So that is why I went ahead and did that. If you have one of these, you may find that you still have to do the same thing with these because of how long or how large these squares are. These half square triangles are going to be. Now, if you have a machine that is recessed into your table, then you might not have to worry about that. You might have you could use the tape, the seam guide tape, and go all the way down along your table, and then you wouldn't have to draw these lines like that. But, you know, we've got to do what we got to do to make it work. So let's jump into it. All right, guys. So today we are going to do another one of my own personal spooky stories. And I don't know whether it's really spooky so much, but it is kind of paranormal and interesting, definitely. I will say before we jump into this that I am working on another cryptid profile for next week. I really enjoy putting those ones together, but I got to do a little bit of research on them so I can have all of my names and my facts and my dates straight first. So today it's a spooky story, spooky-ish. This happened around 20 years ago to my now husband and I. At the time, we had just started dating though. And one of the things that we really enjoyed doing together is going out, getting together some books and then finding a nice, beautiful place in nature and going and just relaxing and reading someplace shady. And, we could stay out there for hours or maybe just for, 10 to 20 minutes. It really depended on how hot the day was because this was Florida, and I'm sure it depended greatly on the seasons as to how hot it was, but in Florida you have no concept of season. It is just hot and hotter, and then you have a cold day and then the next day's hot again. So we would go out there, most of the time we try to stay out there for at least a couple hours. And this time in particular, we had found this beautiful little park that was kind of nestled into a neighborhood. And it really wasn't very remote at all, but there was a little bit of woods nearby. So we were sitting down reading and just enjoying the day. And I guess both him and I happened to look up at the same time and just kind of take in the beauty of the park around us. And at a certain point while we were doing this, there was a bird that comes just absolutely zooming down and around and over and past us. So this bird, it is just flying so erratically. And, we're watching this, but while we're watching this bird flying around, zipping around like crazy, we notice that there's actually something chasing the bird. And it is this little yellow gold ball of light. And everywhere that bird goes, this thing is like right on its tail. I mean, like 2 inches behind it. And this bird is just trying its hardest to get away. And it it just like zooms all over the place, and then dives down behind a cement wall. And that was it. That was the end of it. That was what we saw. And I swear we both turned and looked at each other, and I forget whether it was him that said it or me that said it, but one of us were like, "Did you just see that?" Oh, it was him. It was definitely him, because then I replied and I was like, uh, you mean the little ball of light that just chased that bird? And he was like, yeah, yeah, that was it. I just wanted to make sure somebody else saw it too. So I went through and I had drawn this center line, and then I sewed a 1/4 of an inch to one side, and now I'm going back through and I'm sewing a 1/4 of an inch onto the other side. So now we have our half square triangles, and we are going to invert them. So one is going to be with the tan side on this side and the white side on this side, and then it's going to be the opposite way for this one. And we'll put them together like this, and then we're going to sew from this corner to this corner, and when we open it up, we'll have 2 of them that are hourglass pieces. So let's go ahead and do that. Our thoughts on this is that it was a fairy. I don't know what else that could be. I don't know. Maybe the scientific explanation is that a tiny little ball lightning chased a bird through the park in the middle of the sunshine. But I've never seen anything like that before or since, and I don't think he has either. But I also haven't read anything about other people seeing anything like that. And I will say that when we saw it, it really was just a ball of light that was, it was like whatever it was putting off enough light that you couldn't see what it was, and it just looked like a ball of light. But it wasn't necessarily looking like that was the shape of it. It didn't look like it was necessarily just a circle. It just looked like whatever it was so bright that it was putting off enough light that you couldn't see the actual object, if that makes sense. And goodness gracious, I don't know what that bird did to anger whatever that was, or if it was just, having fun chasing down that poor bird. But I hope it got away, because that thing was aggressively chasing it. And that bird was scared. So I guess more of the story, don't anger little balls of light or fairies or whatever that was. Well, that was a really short story. So let's go ahead on and do a second one. All right, so this second story, this one is really rather creepy. And I think this might even be one of the stories that probably really ignited that streak of curiosity into the paranormal and stuff for me. It actually happened to my great grandfather, who I never met. However, the story survived longer than he did. And my grandmother, his daughter, told me about it. Now, he worked as a milkman for a period of time. And one of the houses that he was delivering milk to, he heard people talking inside the house, and it was very loud, and it was like chanting or something. He just heard a lot of voices, and they sounded very excitable, and he was concerned that possibly somebody was in danger or in trouble, needed help or something like that. So he set down the milk, and he there was a window nearby. He looked into the window, and he saw an entire group of people gathered around, sort of into a loose circle. And there was something in the middle of the circle that he could see moving around. Well, he tried to peer in a little bit closer, and as he did, he realized that there were dolls, like some kind of homemade creation of dolls that were in the center of this circle, standing up and dancing around inside the circle without the aid of anyone else that was there. And all of these people who were standing around were chanting something around these dolls. And my grandfather, or my great grandfather, he that was all he needed to see. He took off like a bat out of you know where, and never returned to that house again. I don't know if they got their milk at the end of the driveway from that point on, or if he asked for a different route, but that was it for him. That was all he needed to see. And he was so affected by this that after point of retelling the story to, I suppose, his wife, that was it. He would not talk about it any further. That was the end of the story, and it bothered him to have anybody discuss it around him or to have anybody bring it up and ask him about it. He didn't want to give it headspace and hear anything more about it. So I always wondered what it was they were doing. my, you know, my family, I think, believes that they were voodoo dolls. I don't know if that's true or not, or if they were, some other kind of ritualistic thing, doll. But whatever it was a very traumatic experience for him. And I can understand why, because I don't think I'd want to have that experience myself. I would be very frightened of what, you know, whether I had witnessed something that I really wasn't supposed to witness and could get me into some kind of trouble. But that is, I think, the story that really ignited my passion for the spooky and paranormal, because, the possibilities of what's out there, and if that can happen, what else is going on? And let me just say, too, that this being my great grandfather, he lived in the 1800s. This was not a time period when there was any kind of electronic dolls or something that somebody might have as a toy or something like that. So this was definitely something outside of the realm of normal. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope that you enjoyed sewing along with me, quilting along with me. Don't forget that you can pick up this book and all of the supplies for the quilt along at Fat Quarter Shop. I've got them linked down in the description box below. And remember, you can always send in your stories, and I would be happy to tell them on the channel. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!